Within the prison, this body is yours. But within the body, my belief is only mine. You want to do it? Kill me here. Silently. Make sure no breath remains. But don't let me free.
Since 1959, some claim that more than 1 million people have crossed the borders into Nepal and India. Many have perished along the way. Perhaps we'll never really know the true number. Annually, thousands of people continue to flee from their homeland. Harrowing tales portray the ongoing clash of two opposing ideologies, between the native human wish to live in peace and the ambition to dominate others.
So the Tibet issue is about a 1 million square mile territory on the highest plateau in the world, invaded and occupied and colonized by the Chinese of the People's Republic of China since 1949, 1950. And the 6 million Tibetans who are uniquely adapted biologically to living in this high plateau, which is average altitude almost 3 miles, are unhappy to have lose their freedom, lose their independence, lose their country, lose their culture. And they've been really badly persecuted by the Chinese. Maybe over 1 million have been killed due to Chinese mismanagement of their land and also outright violation of their lives. There has been development in Tibet that people talk about, material development, but this has not been for the benefit of the Tibetans, it has been for the benefit of Chinese colonists.
I have horns, 2 fangs, and a dragonfly tail. Chased away from my home, hiding from fear, saving my life. Doors slammed on my face.
Tibetans and the Chinese have always lived together as neighbors. When the Tibetan Empire was powerful, it extended its power on China and Mongolia. Till 1911, China was actually under foreign occupation. The Manchurian Empire had shifted their capital to Peking, now Beijing, and they were running the whole empire. And due to many years of foreign occupation, it had created in the Chinese mind, in the Han Chinese mind, a sense of revulsion against what is called the West. And in 1913, His Holiness the 13th Dalai Lama declared Tibet as an independent country. And from 1913 right up to 1949, when China invaded Tibet, Tibet remained an independent country. The Chinese occupation of Tibet, which started in 1949, started with a military occupation, and Tibet had no way to resist that. Mao Zedong created People's Republic of China, the idea of the motherland, which consists of the Han China as the majority. Till 1949, 1950, Tibet remained an isolated country. And the people in Tibet were not really aware of the political developments that were happening from outside. Perhaps Tibet was the only country which was not affected directly by the Second World War. Was not even aware that there was a Second World War happening in the outside world. People lived their own personal, simple spiritual lives, or the nomads, or the monastic lives, or the farmers.
Truly, they said in the past always that we liberated Tibet, because they made up some fake story about how miserable Tibet was and how miserable Tibetans were, which is not true. Tibet had its problems, but it was actually a pretty jolly country, and they didn't have a lot of the problems that we do of a ruined environment and poverty and famine, not really extreme poverty and famine in Tibet. And actually, the Tibetans have been driven into greater and greater poverty, and all the best locations, the best sites, the best buildings have been taken over for the Chinese colonists. And over 6,000 of their monasteries have been destroyed, and their lamas have been suppressed.
The occupation of Tibet really dragged the Tibetans into a political turmoil. And then the Tibetan government, the Kashak, sent a request letter for support from the US, UK, India, and United Nations. And no support came. China symbolically annexed Tibet. The Chinese occupation of Tibet had not only occupied the land and killed people and occupied many villages, they were now directly targeting their religious and political leader, His Holiness the Dalai Lama. In March 1959, China wanted to get hold of His Holiness, and therefore His Holiness had to escape. It was the first real political exodus.
The exile which became home for Tibetans, the exile named Dharamshala.